peace of mind, believe me. Yeah, thank you so much. I've
Wow.
been waiting for that moment too long. You know that it's been like almost 1 year. 1 year, yeah.
Yes.
From last Ramadan to this Ramadan, yeah, that's even 1 year. 1 year even.
Yes. For me, it's Lent.
It's land, correct,
Yes.
correct,
And at
correct,
our service, he said something like, our other religious brothers are currently practicing Ramadan. He told us, you guys have it lucky. They don't eat when the sun is up.
correct. Yeah, yeah. I had a joke with my co-worker the other day. They are Lenting right now, and I'm fasting. So they can break their fast at 12 p.m. I told them, "Oh, God loves you more than us. Like, He's making you pay the half of what we're paying right now. Like, we have to fast for it for more than 12 hours a day." So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
How is it the first day when you fast? Are you thinking clearly? Is it
Oh
really
yeah.
painful?
No, 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 no. It's like, like you have to know what the purpose behind fasting. Like
Mm,
everything, like God's wants you to know something behind your fasting is like to feel, to feel the hunger of other people. So there's always a purpose. There's always a goal behind fasting. And all the religions, when you land, for example, and you feel like I don't want to eat meat or chicken. It's like to feel the poverty of other people who cannot afford to buy meat and chicken.
mm,
Like there's always like a humanitarian goal behind that.
mm.
Loves us. So there's always, as I told you, like there's a main goal.
Purpose. That's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember what the purpose is for. All
yeah.
right. Congratulations, Ali,
Oh,
getting
thank you
your
so much.
26 on TOEFL
Thank
IBT
you.
speaking for FPGEE. I want to open this up to you. What do you want to say?
Oh, I wanna say, like, honestly, the main goal behind that video is to inspire other students because I can feel them. I can feel the struggle. I've been struggling with this test for almost 2 years now, and the main like obstacle for me was, and the main hassle was that I'm not English educated. Like there's a lot of pharmacy students, foreign pharmacy students who come to this country with English as a second language. And even with English as a second language, and they've been practicing it for years and years, they find it hard to get 26 on the speaking section. So what about a person who came here 2 years ago with zero English background, as a French as a second language, Arabic as a first language, and he has to start to learn the English from scratch. So it's not easy. And on top of that, who doesn't have like a normal situation? Like everyone knows, like right now, there's a lot of people who are hearing me. They will know that it's not an easy country to start from, especially if you came with responsibilities, with a family, and you have to start from scratch, not from zero, from below zero, actually. And they will know that how frustrating it is and overwhelmed when they figured that all the degrees that they had, all the knowledge that they have, it's it's nothing here. It's nothing. They will not take it into consideration until you pass your test. That means
Mm,
your whole future is connected to that test. And honestly, first when I came here and I started looking up for like what is the 26 score? Because I came here with zero knowledge. I didn't know that I have to pass a TOEFL test, like a tough TOEFL test in order to be allowed to continue with my equivalency process. I thought that it's a regular TOEFL test, like the one they did do it for universities and this stuff. I said like I will study for a couple months and that's it. But surprisingly, all of a sudden turned ups and down for me when I figured that the 26, and when I looked it up, it says even Native American speakers cannot get 26 sometimes. That was like a big shock for me. Like I said, if Native American speakers cannot get the 26, how can I get it with zero English base? Yeah, like I have no foundation of English, you know? So I know like the main words eat, sit, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you, bye. That's it, like you don't have any English background. So honestly, like, and what was the cherry on the top is, as I told you for in our first meeting, that we realized that my wife was pregnant with twins on my first week here. And you can tell the frustration that I was in the hospital when everyone is talking around me and congratulating me, and I don't know what they are talking about. Later on, I figured that my wife is pregnant with twins. And I told you, like, I fainted. Like, it's my first week. I'm still like trying to blend in with the society to know where I am right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like a shock. So I had two options. I had like a third one. It's either I give up and go back to my country, or I have to man up and face the struggle.
Test takers, especially you males. I didn't
Yeah.
say men, I said you males. You're looking at a man right now. Look at him. That's
Oh, thank you.
overcoming obstacles. That's pushing through barriers. Please continue, Ali.
So honestly, I surrounded myself with English native speakers. Can you tell like someone like dropped himself between like English speakers? No one speaks your own language. So you have to be very strong in order to start understanding what they are saying. I'm not telling to speak like they are saying, to understand what they are saying. So I used to like to read their lips, their face expressions in order to understand what they are saying. And at the same time, repeating in my mind what they are saying in order like to break the words and then go back to Google Translate or other dictionaries to translate it to the Arabic or to my own language to know what it means. And honestly, that was like the game changer to me because after 3 months, 3 months, only 3 months, I started hearing the feedbacks from the people, from my colleagues, like you are improving in 3 months, you speak better than a person who's been here for 1 year or 2 years. And when our customers start saying, I cannot believe that you've been here for only 6 months and you speak that fast and that fluent. Although I had a lot of mistakes, okay, to be very honest, I had a lot of mistakes. Like I was speaking English like a 2 years old baby. Like when they start stuttering and like trying to connect words together and a very bad grammatical structure, but I had the will to fix my mistakes because later on, while you are speaking, you can start figuring out that I said something wrong here. So just put it put it a note on the side, and when you go back home or when you have a free time, just look it up and try to correct it and memorize it in the right way. So for the next time, you will say it the right way. You will not make the same mistake. That what I called you can learn from your own mistakes. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's the best way of learning. So don't feel shy. Like shyness is like your own obstacle. If you will take it as something embarrassing, you will not learn the language.
Mm.
You have to be like brave. Talk, talk. As long as you're going eventually to explain your own thoughts and your own idea, just talk. Just talk. And what I figured that here in the US, fortunately, not everyone is a native speaker. You can meet a lot of people that they don't have English as a first language. So there's nothing embarrassing by doing mistakes or by making mistakes. So it's very normal. It's a very normal process of learning. Your brain is not a hard disk. Like you can
Mm.
put a USB in it, okay, and download the whole English dictionary. It's about a long learning process. It's how you train your brain, how you train your mind.
This is fascinating to me. I'm learning each second. This is what I'm learning. Ali, you started off by saying that you had to learn from scratch. You already had a second language, French. So English was
Correct.
your third.
Correct.
And when I and other people are hearing you say that, at first, it sounds like a disadvantage. But the more you've been talking and going, I hear it as an advantage to you in comparison to other people who went to international schools. And when they come here and don't pass the TOEFL, freak out, flip out, and
Correct.
don't want to do the things that you were saying, which is admit I'm making mistakes, surround myself with native English speakers, and not be shy. Know that your computer hard disk can adapt, can
Correct.
improve, as long as you're not putting a limit on yourself, which is probably a limit based on protecting your ego.
Correct. Correct. 100%. So that's how I like to start our conversation, our video with, just to tell everyone, don't give up. As long as you're trying, that means you haven't failed yet. You still have hope. You still have the opportunity to succeed later. But as long as you give up, that means you fail. Okay, because I cannot think that anyone other than me in my own situation can keep that mindset. So I'm telling for other people, I definitely can find someone who comes here with zero English as well, with no English foundation. For those people, I'm saying do not give up. You can make it. English is not hard and it's not easy, but always you have to keep it in mind. It doesn't matter how many times I've tried to pass the test. You have to know that ultimately you will do it. You will pass it. That's it.
There it is.
That you can make it, believe me. I owe my wife, I owe my in-laws, I owe my parents, I owe you. For everyone who had like one favor on me, I owe them. My co-workers, I owe them. Because of them, I'm a better person now. That doesn't mean that I wasn't a good person before, but I'm saying I'm a better person now. I
Improved.
put my feet on the step to achieve my goal. Okay, so just surround yourself with people who gives you support. Do not listen to other nagging people or people who disappoints you or people who hold you down or hold you back. Just ignore them. Do not listen to them. Cut it off with them and look up for other people who are really interested in you as a person, first of all. They may not be like that strong relationship between you and them, but they believe in a human being. They believe
Mm.
in hard work.
Distance yourself from the people who are negative, who are not supporting you. This coincides with what I have been talking about lately. The way that I've been saying it, test takers, is less than 30%. My estimate as to what percentage of pharmacists are going to pass this year for 2025, and we are recording this video in March of 2025, my estimate is less than 30%. So when Ali just said, separate yourself from the negative people, you test takers have to first be aware to make that distinction of who that is, and then have the guts, the courage to do it.
I want to point out on something very important. I heard it in one of your videos before. I refused to comment on it. I left it to that point where I pass and I can elaborate it and clarify it. A lot of people, you mentioned that a lot of people or a lot of students say that you are rude and you have like attitude or a different personality. It's not like that. It's not like that. When you're taking course with Aaron, guys, he doesn't butter you up. And Aaron knows right now what I'm talking about because we had that conversation before when he told me that, Ali, you're gonna pass. I know that your level is 26. So I asked him, are you buttering me up? He said, no, I'm not buttering you up. So he's very honest with you. He's very honest. If he's If he gets some attitude sometimes, it's because he figures and he notes that you're not listening to his advices. He wants you to pass. So if you're not listening, if you're not following his strategy, he will get mad because he's doing his best to make you pass. And when you want to take courses with Aaron and listening to other tutors at the same time, you will get confused on the first thing. You will get confused. You will not listen to his advices. You will start comparing advices, and when you enter in the comparison, you will get lost. So just forget about everything. Stick with one tutor. Stick with one strategy
Why
and
should
the practice.
why should they choose me other than over other options, Ali?
Okay, so that question you asked me on our first meeting, right? You asked me that question in our first meeting. I told you something that I've been here in the country for 1 year, looking up for tutors, looking up for the strategies, looking up for the best way to get the 26, reading feedbacks, reading articles, listening to the ETS videos, the official ETS videos. When they say that, do not try to imitate someone else, we can detect it, we can catch you. We are rating your fluency, your speaking, not someone else's speaking. That means when you want to stick with one template, that 1,000 students a day are repeating it and they are hearing it. Right now, we're in the AI. So the AI can detect everything. They can detect if you are faking something, if you are imitating someone, because they can detect like a slight change in your speaking rate. They can detect right now that, oh, you've been saying a template and right now you are talking from your own and you start making mistakes. Whereas if you were talking the same rate from the beginning, you will end up getting a higher score, believe me. But when they catch you that you are trying to imitate someone or you are repeating a specific template that 1,000 other students are repeating it, you will not get the 26. Okay, you can get 24 or 25, which is still an advanced score. But the 26 is advanced fluency. And when it comes to advanced fluency, they are testing your abilities to speak fluently, to be confident when you're speaking, and answering the question, not turning around the question. That's very important. That's very important
Directly
that you are
answering
answering
the very specific question they
specific
are asking
question.
you, not what I've said before, which is answering a cousin to the question because it makes you, the test taker, more comfortable to talk about the cousin of the question instead of the direct question.
Correct. Correct. Because that wasn't this question that they asked you about. You're talking and you're answering a different question. And according to my experience, okay, I'm not saying that official, I'm not saying official talk right now, but according to my experience and according to the ETS videos, the most important thing is the content, your content. For example, in the question number one, if you are convincing, if you are defending your opinion, it's not about just saying couple reasons and not being convincing to them. It's about your content. If your content is strong enough, you will still get a high score, even if you stuttered, by the way, even if you made a lot of language mistakes, of grammar mistakes. Your content can overcome all these mistakes. But if your content is not strong enough, is not solid enough, and you make other grammar mistakes, so definitely you will end up getting a low score. You're not getting a high score. And that's according to my own experience, Aaron.
Yes.
My last exam, I want to say that because it's very important for people who think that they should say 2 points. They should say everything they heard in the listening or everything like each single point they heard it. The question, I swear to God, is not recite, it's explain. All the questions are explained. So they are testing your ability to explain, to make an idea more easy to understand for the listener. That's means explain. That means, and the question number one, if you want to explain your reasons, you should be very convincing, defending your opinion, a strong defender for your opinion. And we'll go back to the question number one later because it was my weak point, my weak test that kept me away for the 26 for multiple times. After getting 25, 24 for 4 times straight, I figured that the question number one was my weak point. And
Okay.
honestly, I went back to all your notes about the question number one and I followed your strategy directly to the point. Your strategy. Because not every question is a piece of cake. It's not every question you are familiar with, but you have to put yourself on the other side. That means if you agree with something, you will come up with one idea. I agree with something because of this. Okay, what's the second point that I want to say? Okay, I have 45 seconds to speak. I cannot repeat myself in the 45 seconds, turning around the same point. So what should come directly to your mind is why other people think the opposite. Okay. For me, for example, I would say like directly because what I believe in is to work in an office because it's more formal. It's more professional to work in an office with a fixed schedule. It's more formal, more professional. Okay, so what's the second reason? I don't know. I cannot come up with a second reason. So how can I come up with a second one? I will start thinking that I know that people who like to work from home is because it's more comfortable to them, you know? But they didn't pay attention that they can disrupt it anytime, especially if they have kids at home or they can distract with their own cell phones, for example, and they will forget about their work. So that's a second reason by itself that can defend my opinion. For example, the first one is working in an office is more formal, more professional. I'm stuck with a fixed schedule. If I have a specific question, I can ask my workmates. I can ask my supervisor directly. Have one-on-one conversation, physical conversation with my supervisor or with my manager. Whereas if I want to work from home, I have to leave an email and wait them to text me back. So it's just a waste of time. At the same time, it's true that working from the home is very convenient and it's very comfortable. You're sitting in your own home, wearing your own pajamas, having your coffee next to you. Nothing more better than that. But for me, I don't trust it. I don't like it. I can get disrupted anytime with my cell phone, with my wife, with my kids, probably with my pet at home. Like they can come and walk into the room while I'm in the middle of an important conversation with someone. So it's not professional. But it's very important to come back to the question. You mentioned your own reason, you defended it, then not a that you told me that what you told me exactly. That mentioned that's why I believe that way is better.
Go back to the question.
Go back to the question. That's this like the human rater or the person who's listening to you. They will know, oh, you're talking, and you're understanding, and you know what you're talking about. Your flow will be easier.
Yes,
Okay,
it helped.
like there are simple transition words that can make you sound more professional and more natural, and very natural, and this can improve your score. But when you talk me about advanced vocabulary and all these stuff, idioms, if you know them, you can use them. But don't use them if you're not sure that you're using them in the right spot or in the right place. Because instead of improving your score, they can harm your score
Yes.
because you're using them in the wrong position.
And you're
So just
distracting yourself from the biggest, most important points of topic development.
exactly 100%. 100%. So that's about the question number one. And I heard a lot of people asking me about the if I use these AI programs and these stuff. Honestly, I didn't. Okay.
You did or did
And
not?
what I did it. I did it. I did it. First of all, like I couldn't afford it. I cannot afford it. I'm running in a budget right now. I'm still new in the country. I'm trying to step on my feet, to go through, to blend in with the society. So each penny counts for me right now. I cannot spend it anywhere. And especially, I'm not convinced that that can help me. I'm not convinced about that. Even though, like that's the reason, huh? That's it can be, by the way, that conversation can be a question number one by itself. Can be a question number one by itself. So I didn't use them.
A person that you can see and hear, the speaking templates are wrong. Because to get 26 on speak, and when you see somebody who did get 26 on speaking or above, and they tell you they used the speaking template, they did not get 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking because of the speaking template. No, they got 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking in spite of the limiting nature of the speaking template. They got 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking because their speaking fluency was so good, is so good, that it was able to overcome the limiting structure that is speaking templates.
I never got 26 using AI website.
Okay, but you did on the real test after meetings with me.
Yeah.
If you want to see more videos with people giving you their best advice on how they got their 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking, you can watch that YouTube playlist. It's connected to this video, and you can find it by searching for TOEFL IBT Speaking 26. You can also find it by going through speaking26.com. These are people who before were not getting 26 on TOEFL speaking and after did get 26 and pass their tests. I asked them, hey, can you give your best advice to people who are still taking the test? How did you go from not passing to passing?
When I read about the TOEFL exam, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, okay, straightforward thing. It's an English exam. How difficult can it be?
The pharmacy board needs specifically 26 in speaking.
I used to change the template. Maybe this is more advanced, so I will use this the next exam, and I try to practice this for maybe a month or two to be able to master it, to say it without thinking. Every time I found myself getting maybe less score or the same score. It doesn't make any difference to just change the templates and use different introductory words. It didn't make any difference for me. Some of my friends advised me to start taking sessions with you.
This helped me in passing my TOEFL exam. Erin helped me to pass and get 26.
Erin, actually, any words will not be enough. But really, I'm very thankful.
26 in speaking, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited to get to the next step in my pharmacist license.
Look at my accent, look at people who got 26. So just surround yourself with people who motivate you.
Look, I passed. That bit that's missing is probably the most important bit to get you to 26.
Yes.
And that's the bit where Aaron, I felt, helped me realize where I was going wrong. And that bit where I was going wrong, I think it goes for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you speak English is your first language or not. That bit that was missing is something everyone really needs to understand in order to get that 26.
Once you are in the level that you need to become advanced in order to get the 26, you need to get rid of the templates.
Template will hinder your ability to deliver the question, because it shows that you are reading something or you are not speaking, you are reading.
I was using completely different template or different way. I started to apply your way, and once I started to practice your way, it's easy for me.
That was really good for me. It really helps me because with this in my mind, I could speak faster. And because I was confident.
It's challenging, but you know, after you pass it, the feeling of victory, it's worth it.
As English is my first language, I thought the speaking templates would be enough to get me the 26 that I needed. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I only scored a 23. Your lack of getting 26 is not due to your speaking ability. It has been due to your less than optimal strategy. Get rid of the training wheels.
The templates were like, oh my God, why did they create those templates?
Aaron, you are a big helpful for students like us. We need somebody to like stir revolution in our heart inside, give life to our conversation. And this will never happen through other sites like they have exact traditional pattern, the template, first, second, for example. Don't say, for example, the second time, for instance. Really? And like robot, I felt myself without life. I don't have the freedom to speak.
You don't have to worry that much about how can I mention 2 reasons with 2 details or 2 examples. It's too much for me. You help students to increase their fluency.
Instead of following that speaking template or any other speaking template, trust your fluency.
For the students who are taking with you, trust this guy. He's amazing. He will shift or improve your level as soon as possible.
Like this, jump my score from 23 to 26, like this. How many hours I took with you? 5. Look at this. 5 hours in 2 weeks. I passed my test.
I was surprised that I passed after 5 sessions together.
I hope you keep inspiring and helping more pharmacists and more other students to achieve their goal and become a professional here in the United States.
If I had just, found you earlier.
For people who's really, they have concern and they need to do it very fast, go to the original, the source of help.
Go to Aaron. He's the guy. He was the guy for me. And hopefully he's the guy for you. And he'll set you straight. He'll tell you what you need to do to get that 26